That's just when it's so fun to look around the table and see Charles Woodson, Julian Edelman, Gronk, and TB and Stray and start talking football. And we love our jobs. It's so much fun.
I'm glad you said that because when it's never lost on me, those are our work
Coworker
dinners.
yeah.
And I'm sitting there and Gronk is eating the steak with his hands like the caveman that he is. Hey guys, welcome to the official YouTube page for Calm Down with Erin and Charissa. This is where you can watch all of our ridiculous conversations and fun interviews. We have full shows, we've got pre-games, anything and everything that you guys could want. But first, you're going to have to subscribe. Just hit subscribe right there and you're good to go. And now you can calm down with us. Yep. Can you tell that we're reading this off a script? We hope so. All right. We need to calm down and wrap this bad boy up. Press subscribe. Thanks for listening.
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio. Charissa has been on the road for 2 months.
I mean, it's fine. Although I am cutting the tag out of the shirt that I just had to buy because I'm out of clothes and I just had to go shopping. I was real cocky on the packing of the carry-on because this is how it went. Which,
you only have a carry-on, by the way, and you have been on the road since Wednesday. Now it is Tuesday, so I'll do the math. 6 days. Yeah. You're an animal and my hero.
Oh my God. No, this is great. This is like my dream week. So leave Wednesday, go get to do the first Amazon Thursday night game because we always start on week 2. I get Packers Commanders in Lambeau. Are you kidding me? In September. Gosh. So not December, not January when it's freezing, like where you used to have your residence and your mail forwarded to.
Oh yeah.
Because you had so many games at Lambeau. But it was such a scene. We'll get to that in a second. But anyway, so I get that on Thursday. Then I get to fly to Philly to do a sit down with Jalen Hurts, who was great. I had never had a chance to sit down with him before. Great. There, boom, in and out. After connecting on 17 flights, it's fine. Stay with me. Then get to fly to Kansas City, meet up with you and the whole pregame show and the game crew. And it's like my dream because I never get to be on the road with Erin until the end of the year, usually NFC Championship game or Super Bowl, which shout out, I'm just going to say this because Bill Richards, executive producer, just text us, most watched NFL pregame show since 2019, 5.5 million viewers, and the game itself, 33.8 million people watched that game. Let's go. Week 2 in the NFL.
Feels good.
What are we talking about?
It feels right. Most watched week 2 NFL telecast on record. Most watched telecast of any kind since the Super Bowl. Feels great.
So much fun. So now I'm in Vegas doing something here real quick. And then I land tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. at LAX. And I get on a flight at 8:30 to go to Buffalo for my Thursday night game.
How do you pack for this? Who's packing for Buffalo for you?
I'm going from LAX to run by my house, grab some new luggage, and then meet up with the rest of the crew and fly out. I can't wait.
You're an animal.
This is awesome. Like, how lucky are we? And I just love it too, because again, when our worlds get to collide, the same location, Kansas City Chiefs, I know you guys are now 0-2 and the sky is falling and everyone's, the dynasty is over. I'll tell you what, the last team that was 0-2, that ended up winning the Super Bowl. Ryan, you can correct me if you're wrong, but I believe it was Michael Strahan's 2008 New York Giants. Is that the last one that ended up winning the Super Bowl when they started 0-2? So it's a long season. I know that's cliche, but it's true. But go. Your memories of the last few days, sister.
Well, it's hazy. No, I'm kidding. We had such a great time in Kansas City, and our plus ones came out, which made it even better. But we were saying as we landed yesterday, that felt like an NFC championship or a Super Bowl. I mean, it was just everybody was together. And look, Fox's family, when we're together, we have a really, really good time. And we did. So that was super fun. I agree with you. Everybody relax, calm down, Kansas City. Not in Kansas City, but I can't even imagine what the people on the streets are saying, the naysayers. They're going to be fine. They're going to get their 2 wide receivers back. By the way, Patrick Mahomes is still your quarterback, and that defense is fire. That was a defensive game. I'm so glad it lived up to everything that we built it up to be. I'm excited to see what unfolds. Still, NFL, the best reality show out there. Last night's games on Monday night.
Oh my gosh.
The Bucks, the Chargers, Baker. It's so fun. It's just a blast.
Baker Mayfield running a 2-minute offense at the end of a game is textbook. Like, this dude had been banged up. His
Yep.
left knee, like Pat McAfee talked about it this morning. Like, I don't know, Bake, what your knee looks like this morning, but I hope you're okay. But that dude, as we all know, is toughness
Yep.
personified. Like, he
Flipping on
just,
his back.
oh my God. And so much fun. And then I love when we get like a doubleheader, because then and I happen to be in Vegas right now. And I was like, oh, great. Now we've got Chargers, Raiders. The Chargers defense, and we've been waiting for the quote unquote Chargers, the Justin Herbert, like to actually have this breakout
Sure.
year, because every year they keep falling short, even with a talent like Justin Herbert. But then you got Jim Harbaugh now in his second year. But that defense, and led by Derwin James on the back end, I mean, they are fiery. And they remind me a lot, actually. I don't know in terms of the actual X's and O's and scheme part of it, but just watching the way that they fly to the ball reminded me of watching the Packers on Thursday night, because that defense plays so fast. And Micah Parsons came on our post-game show. And I haven't talked to Micah since all this
Sure.
went down. I saw him in the offseason while this was all unfolding, but like since this trade actually happened. And he is so happy to be in Green Bay. He's like, the community has embraced me. All that dude wants to do is play football.
Yep.
And when like they have him in on, these third down packages, whatever, but when they give him the full playbook and he plays, like, I mean, the fact that he is even playing as much as he is right now says everything about the kind of player he is. But I'm excited to continue to watch the Packers, and for good reason, because they look really good. And also, can we talk about that week 4 game that they have? Go to Dallas. How about Dallas? Oh my God, that Dallas Giants game.
Yep.
Hello. If you guys like points, that was your game.
Greg Olson. Yeah, we caught up with him on Sunday. He was just given wow. Between
7 lead changes in the fourth quarter and overtime alone. Russell Wilson looked like vintage Russell Wilson. And it's like you didn't want either of those teams to lose. But I'm sorry, Brandon Aubrey making a 64-yard field goal look like it was a 35-yard chip shot. The kicking in the NFL is like
monster.
Crazy. Anyways, as you can tell, I'm fired up. Football is here. It's back. We're in the mix. Go.
One thing I want to say from our weekend, I was raised a Packers fan. Obviously, when you work for the NFL, you become unbiased and you become really of just fans of the guys, like the guys that you work with and the coaches and so forth, and all the organizations. But Charles Woodson was a guy that I loved that played on the Packers. I cheered for. It's so cool to be able to work with him now. And we were at dinner the other night, and I just said, Charles, like, I still can't believe the Packers got Micah Parsons. And Charles goes, I still can't believe it. One of the best lines from Charles Woodson, he goes, I tried to get them to get guys like Micah when I was there. He goes, it was really hard to get players like that. And he goes, I can't believe it. And then you started asking them, how much better does that make you as a defense? And that's just when it's so fun to look around the table and see Charles Woodson, Julian Edelman, Gronk, and TB and Stray, and start talking football. And we love our jobs. It's so much fun.
I'm glad you said that, because when it's never lost on me, those are our
coworker
dinners.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and Gronk is eating the steak with his hands, like the caveman that he is. And he's just the sweetest, nicest person. But I'm like, I love that we get to sit around a table at a work dinner. And this is like someone's dream scenario to have one of those guys at a dinner, let alone all of them. So love being on the road with you, love seeing you, and love having you part of the pregame when like I actually get to be like standing next to you, which I so appreciate, because anyone that doesn't know, Erin's about to work a game in front of 35 million people. And there's a routine, and very much like an athlete, there is a schedule where you like to, get up and work out. You like to go, do you have a certain game day routine for yourself? And that's disrupted when you're kind enough to come on the pregame shows. So what is that like for you? Because you got to the stadium to get ready how many hours before you were actually doing the game?
Well, you left even earlier than I did. I got to the stadium. We left at like 8:15 in the morning. We weren't on first. The kick wasn't until 3:25. But I was, listen, it's a long day. We just had, Ken Jeong, he talks about like just staying caffeinated, obviously, for 36-hour days when he was a doctor. That's not what I'm doing. I get that. But when the pregame show comes to town, and this was our Super Bowl this year, because we don't have it, and it was so exciting. You want to be a part of it. My best friend's there with her show, get to go out there in front of all the fans at Arrowhead. That was super fun. The pregame guys are, doing their thing. So yeah, it's a long day. You end up going into hair and makeup at 9 and you're in that hair and makeup until what, 8 o'clock? Well, for us, it was maybe 1:30 in the morning,
I was
but
going to
that
say,
was
I think we stayed in that. That's when we go to dinner afterwards and the eyelashes are falling off and
oh
you're like,
yeah.
I'm disgusting. I need to
Yeah.
rinse off because it was also spicy hot out there.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, we're
That air was
talking 90.
thick.
Yeah, 90
Ugh.
degrees. And I love like when Chris Jones is up against, the fan and trying to, how those big boys play in that
No,
heat, like is
no.
beyond me with all the pads and everything. I'm like, Carissa, shut up. You're in a vest with your, arms exposed. It's not that hot. Relax,
I
lady.
know. But so glad we
But
got to do our segment together. I loved our segment. And also shout out to the people that wrote about it. Like with so many nice people wrote nice things about how many times can I say nice? Sweet things about the segment. We love doing that. So we want to make it a habit.
we do. Anytime that, look,
Mhm.
we've been doing this job a long time. So I know there's a lot of different elements in those shows, but it's nice to be able to talk football. It's nice to be able to do it with you and that crowd and everybody that came out. It just makes those shows really special.
Yep.
And the fact that this is only week 2 in the season is wild. So where are you headed
Wild.
this week?
I
As you
don't
sit, by the way, for
know.
anyone that doesn't, is just listening to the podcast, Erin is sitting because again, she's a two-way player like Travis Hunter on offense and defense, promoting her 99 to Beat show that is on Fox, which debuts September what?
September 24th, 9 o'clock
September.
Eastern.
Mhm.
Can't wait for you guys to tune in. But yeah, I've been here since I got picked up at 7 a.m. So
My
yeah.
girl, and she's promoting the show, and we're gonna have Ken Jeong on in just a
Yeah.
little bit. We're gonna get a chance to interview him. How about the career that guy's had?
Wow.
I mean, from being a doctor to hi casual, who just says like being a doctor, from being a doctor to quitting his practice to becoming a huge star in movies and hosting other shows like The Masked Singer, which you have told me it's on for 14 seasons. They've
Isn't
already
that
been on.
insane? I was telling him we've done a press deal all day today, and I was sitting there listening to someone interview him about the show. 14 seasons. We just saw Travis Kelce, who I talked to in a sit down interview about playing for 13 seasons. That's
Yeah.
incredible to be doing it that long. That says so much about that show.
It does. And I'm glad you mentioned it. And then we'll take a quick break here. But for those of you that didn't get a chance to see Erin sit down with Travis, first time you got to hear from him about part of the proposal. I was obviously very kind and said she could fill in the rest of the details. But I love that he was
Yeah.
honest about
Love
his
him.
emotion
Mhm.
and proposing. And again, as we've said already on the show, so happy for them. But yeah, I know that he wants that one catch back so bad. It is a long season, though. There's a lot of football left to be played, and you
Yeah.
did not win the Super Bowl in September. To go
Nope.
back, because I love stats. Yes, thank you, Ryan. It was the 2007 Giants. That was the last team,
Get it,
Michael
girl.
Strahan's last year, that started 0-2 and ended up winning a Super Bowl. There's 4 teams in total that have started 0-2 and end up making a Super Bowl. So, anyways, that's for Chiefs fans. For Eagles fans, you guys look good. Keep up the good work. All right, love you. We're going to take a
Love
quick break. We will
you.
be back with Ken Jeong on the other side.
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.